Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am your one and only 8-bit raccoon here to bring you another brand new video. So I rewatched the last video more than a few times, and honestly I have to say that the video was way too lengthy, and I'm gonna move back to my good old script writing and prepare for what I'm gonna say before the video. Also, I realized that the content of last video was pretty much all over the place, and so in future videos I want to try to focus on really narrowing down the area I want to talk about and make sure the topic range is not way too wide. Anyway, let's go on with the topic of today. Today will be kind of like a part 2 to my previous video, and I will talk about the 2017 preseason patch. So Riot posted the preseason changes that they're going to bring to League of Legends in the upcoming Season 7. To start things off for this season, Riot has decided to touch on the Assassin Champion pool. Just like Season 6, where Riot updated the whole Marksman roster with champion reworks and new AD items, this year they're going to do the exact same but to the Assassin role. A few champion reworks ranging from mini reworks that change up the effects and stats of abilities to large-scale reworks that include completely new abilities and visual effects and textures. And of course adding a few new items and changing up old ones to match up the new dynamic Riot wants the assassin to be in. All the super cool new updates aside, today I want to really talk about the champions that are going to be changed in the upcoming season. However, I'm not going to talk about the individual champions and their abilities. We can leave that to the lame YouTubers that just read ability descriptions. Instead, I want to talk about how Riot decided to change the assassin role within the game. Before we start talking about what Riot wants, we first need to understand what the assassin role really is. Now, this sounds like a really simple question because, I mean, it is pretty obvious that the assassins are champions that just assassinate other champions by dealing a huge chunk of damage within a really short period of time before running away. I know tanks right now do a million damage and pretty much does the same thing as assassins, but, you know, that was after Riot did whatever to the tanks. Yeah, my point is that the assassin playstyle holds its own spot within the game where it is important just enough that it is always going to be a potential threat, so people will always have to know how to deal with them, and assassins never really fell out of the meta. Interestingly, the assassin role also has one of the steepest learning curves compared to the other roles within the game. Unlike other roles where you just coordinate with the rest of your team to make plays and rotate around the map, assassins pretty much have to do quite the opposite. Now, I'm not saying assassins do not need to coordinate with your team to come out victorious in the game, but they do it in such a different fashion it's almost like doing the complete opposite of what your team is doing. When teams group up for a team fight, assassins always try to stay within the fog of war, hiding from the enemy's vision and staying stealth until it's the perfect time to strike their backline. And this is what makes the assassin role very, very unique from the rest. An assassin player is required to know exactly what they need to do within a team fight, and that piece of game knowledge is so hard to learn because it is so different from the rest of the game, and what you learn from other roles. Now, Riot is changing up how the assassins are played. It seems that Riot Games is really trying to add in the element of counterplay when player plays against assassins. And they want to change up the assassins so that each champion does their assassination in a different style. Now on paper, this seems very ideal. I mean, everybody loves counterplay. Who doesn't? Who likes playing a game where you just die within half a second without even having the time to react? It is optimal to allow players to have a sense of control over the game that they're playing. Now, this is logical. It isn't really wrong. Players should have control. But the sense of control does not limit to the players having the ability to literally survive a direct lethal attack. Assassins are designed to pressure the enemy team solely because of their ability to instantly remove a champion even before a team fight. They're made specifically to land that one-shot kill. That's what assassins literally mean. It's not an assassination if you see the attack coming. Don't get me wrong though, I'm not saying that the game should be plagued by assassin champions where there's literally nothing you can do about it, because there is something you can do about it in the first place. There was already counterplay. Good assassin players are supposed to be seen as an unstoppable force because they are good players. They practiced hard and knows how to perfectly execute what they need to do in order to win the game. And they play a role that is harder than most other roles within the game. Pulling off a one-shot kill is a reward for them making a good play. The counterplay comes way before the assassins start engaging on you. It needs to be set up at the beginning of the game, starting by you and your team understanding what the enemy champions are capable of and staying alerted. What I'm trying to say here is that the whole point of having an assassin class is that there should be nothing you could do about it and you're bound to be smashed if you mess up when there's an assassin on the enemy team. Look at other games that have assassin classes. Let's take Overwatch as an example. You get wrecked by Reaper when you don't pay attention to the sound effects of his shadow step. And it is not the one person's job to listen to his flanks. The whole team is responsible to listen to Reaper's ability sound effects. When one person hears him, you call his position out and warn the rest of your team. Same for League of Legends. Stay alerted for yourself and for the rest of your team. Ward further into their jungle so that you can have more information on when their enemy team is going to attack. Not only does this save you from assassins, it also makes it easier for you and your team to make decisions as well. To wrap up, I'm saying that assassins should have their own spot within the game, and what they are capable of is something players should learn to play with and against. One-shot kills are not unhealthy for the game because you are supposed to stop assassins before they get their chance of making a move. And if you don't do that, and then when they do find the opportunity, there should be nothing you could do about it, because it is the consequence of the mistakes you and your team made. In a way, by learning to deal with assassins, players improve at the game as a whole. So interestingly, having a quote-unquote unhealthy role within the game makes the game more healthy. What I do think Riot should do is to make assassins even more mechanically challenging to play, but at the same time more powerful. It takes more skill to execute an assassination properly, and when you don't, you will be useless. So great assassins players will win because they are good at what they do. And assassin role becomes this role where casuals would try to stay away from because of the high risk you are taking while playing it. But experts would take the risk for the high reward because they are confident in their skills. But that should be it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for the time and for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed my content. If you do, please do leave a like down below, and if not, feel free to leave a dislike as well and tell me what I could do to improve. Again, thank you so much for the time of watching the video, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Peace.